Today, we're going to visit with Donny Paris. Donny is a longtime Story employee that retired a number of years ago. I had personal work experiences with Donny while he worked. I was a project engineer. He was a superintendent. He's a really no BS sort of guy, a man of few words, but words that carry a lot of weight. Can't wait to catch back up with Donny and find out what he remembers, what he's willing to share, and what he's up to now. All right, so tell me where you grew up. Did you grow up in Boone?
Boone and Fraser.
Okay. Tell me about your family. Did you have any siblings, and where were you in that pecking order?
I was on the bottom. I had two older sisters, and then I got my other sister and brother. They're twins.
What did your parents do when you were growing up?
Dad was a carpenter for James Thompson.
Really?
Foreman. My mother, she just was a homemaker.
Okay. When did he start with it, James Thompson?
Oh, gosh. Let's see. Probably in the early 60s. I started working for him when they were doing the men's dormitories, the high-rises. He was working there as a foreman.
Is that now the towers?
Towers, yeah.
Okay.
And then he worked for me down at Woodward at the hospital down there. We built those houses.
Okay.
He worked for me then. He just kind of helped train in the guys and give me experience to what to do, knowledgeable or whatever.
So was he always in construction?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, years and years ago, his dad died early, and he was 11 years old, and he had to go start driving coal truck out of the coal mines in Fraser. His dad did that, and he just had to move up to help take care of the family.
So you went to Boone High School?
Yep.
Were you involved in any activities or anything in high school?
No, we were too busy moving back and forth. My folks were married for 55 years before Dad passed away. They lived in 35 houses, and they lived in one 15 years. So sometimes we moved twice a year.
And so what would he do? Would he fix them up and flip them?
Yeah. Wasn't his intent, but somebody seemed to like him better than he did.
Yeah. Yeah. You've done some of that in your day too, haven't you?
Yeah. I'm involved in one now. I just bought in fact, I'll probably next week I'll sign the papers on a acreage I bought right in Boone, right on the edge of Boone.
Okay. When you graduated high school, then did you start working right away? Did you,
The day I graduated from high school, I started to work for Thompson's, same day. Then came on up through and did my 4-year apprenticeship through the union.
Okay.
Carpentry. And then I just went into carpentry and whatever. Then when Richard and all those started Story Construction, Larry Sporlake, I switched over. Went out with Larry out on the meat lab.
Okay.
And then went on out to Schlutter Village with Larry Dix's dad. Student housing out there on the corner where they did all those Sandler homes.
Right. So how many of those, did...
We just did the foundations, basically, and the site work.
Got it.
When I started out there, Larry Dix's dad, Norm had 7 of them getting started. Larry Sporlake had already done, I think, 14 of them or so. And then Larry Dix's dad got sick and had cancer. So they moved me right over into his place, and we did, I think, 32.
32 foundations.
Foundations, yeah, and site work around them.
Okay. How long, you happen to recall how long you were with JTS before Story?
Maybe 6-7 years. I spent 3 years on Vet Med, then I switched over to Story.
What'd you do on Vet Med?
Kept time. I was the timekeeper out there. Charlie Bell's timekeeper.
Charlie was superintendent?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, they went joint ventured on that with a contractor out of
Klinger?
Klinger.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the bonding and whatever, I believe.
Yep. What do you remember about that job?
I had to go tell a guy that his wife passed away. That's hard masonry from Boucher's, and it was a big job, covered all everywhere, and a lot of concrete. About the same time the new football stadium was going.
All right. So you started right out of high school, worked on these projects, came out of JTS, and then came into Story.
Mm-hmm.
So you started with your tools on, and then you were timekeeping, and sort of how did you progress through your career at Story?
Well, I went out first was Larry's assistant foreman out on the meat lab, and then went out to when they hired Art, they wanted to help him out there because he was new to the area, and then they said he had cancer, and we finished it up and then just into a superintendent type position.
Okay.
Then worked from there to on up to project manager.
Were you superintendent on the what's it called? The federal building out on campus, the soil tilth. Did you work on that job?
Yep. I was superintendent on that one.
Yep. I think I remember touring that when I was in school at Iowa State. I think I remember you from back then.
And then I had to help. Well, we were in Roth Hall up in Cedar Falls too.
Oh yeah, That's when I graduated. Yeah, my history with you is really right out of the gate from when I started as a student in 1990, February of 1990, graduated in May of 1991. And I think by summer of 1992, we were building a new residence hall up at University of Northern Iowa.
Roth Hall, residence on the hill.
Yeah. What do you remember about that job?
We had to train a lot of guys and get them certified for welding. It was really a big job for welding, and whatever, hard to find welders.
Yep.
Certified welders.
Yep. I remember that too.
Then I worked for Charlie. I went out. I had a real brief project that Norm had, molecular biology. That was his job, and he had Charlie Bell on it. Norm went to a meeting. He had these gargoyles to put up on all four corners of the building.
Yep.
They offered it to the contractors, and the contractors didn't take it, so Norm raised his hand and says, well, we'll do it. So I had to go out and help set all four of them, put them up there in pieces. They did a round column just like your coffee jug there. Then this architect designed these clay tile. You set down over them, and you fill them with sand, and then the next piece. We had me and another guy, we had to scaffold it up and put him over. Get him turned the right ways to make him happy.
Yeah.
How long was that? Did that take a day, a week, a month? How long did that take?
Took about a month to do all four of them. There's a lot, but you're up there in the air and there's nothing around, so it's we had me and another guy did the work, and Craig Elliott, and then Larry Matthews was there running the crane. And
that's a pretty good Boone Fraser crew right there.
Yeah. Yep.
So you, when did you become a stockholder? What do you remember about that?
Gosh, I don't remember where I was even at then. I think I was up at Schlatter Village when I did back then, but it was proud to be selected to be a stockholder.
Who came out to talk to you?
Mr. Johnson.
Okay. Who did you buy stock from?
Oh, let's see. I bought from Ted, Norm, Dick, and I think they just offered me some stock through the company, that whatever.
Okay. Do you remember who else came in with you?
Jimmy Sodders, I believe. And I think just the two of us at that time.
Okay. Worked out all right?
Oh, yeah. I'm not complaining.
So I know you as a bit of a character, and I know that you have a lot of friends from the company that are characters. So who are some of the people that you were close to, that you ran with, that you worked with at the company?
Well, Jimmy Sauter's about the one I ran with and whatever. But see, before Jim got a divorce, our wives worked together at Iowa State in the computer lab part, whatever over there.
Okay.
And we bowled and drank a little. Well, maybe a lot.
Yeah, still have that. So you mentioned Craig Elliott.
Yeah.
I know you worked a lot with Craig.
Yeah, he was up there with us at Roth Hall.
He was. I remember coming up one night. So I came up like the night before because we had meetings in the morning and was trying to track you down. It was like 8 o'clock, and you and Craig were hanging doors like it was nobody's business. You were huffing and a puffing. You're there, you may as well be doing something. John Judge.
John, I first worked with John over on EC Maybe Theater. John was over there as the foreman, whatever, and that's when Marty Martinson had a heart attack. And I was just starting a job, addition to a school in Marshalltown. Just had the trailer set up and laid out, and you'd knock on the door, you need to go to Iowa City, we're in trouble over there. Marty had a heart attack. And I got over there, and they couldn't get the brick selection figured out to match the existing building. So finally, sample after sample after sample was the bricklayer. And
Yep.
his boss told him, you just go there and camp, make them happy because we're ready to go. So finally, they just took the yellow brick out of the sample panel and put it up, and everybody bought it, and away we went. Then we bought our first big crane, a used one, 60 ton. And it came in 3 pieces each because of the weight it was. So they put it together, and John set all the structural steel. I mean, he'd be there and he ran the crane. He'd have the crane and get the big stuff iron up there. I mean, the beams were like 5 foot tall. He'd set it, and next time you look out and shit, he's up there with them, helping get it bolted together.
Oh, be darn.
Yeah.
I remember talking to him. He was self-taught in almost everything, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, he worked for a guy named Bob Vickery. And Bob Vickery he didn't buy a lot of stuff. He made a lot of stuff. His picking stuff and whatever. He set those 4-unit Sandler homes. He'd get them up, and he'd set this one in, then he'd set the next, he'd set the one up there. Then he'd set the 2 bottom ones, well, there was a crack between to get your belts out. He'd take that little cat and just boom, 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 slide them together. But and then when he got ready to set the top one, the one on the far side, he'd get him up, swing him over, and get ready to swing out. He'd take that old cat and put on the counterweight to get out there to set it down. And Bob built a lot of bridges. And right in Iowa City there, just you go in, whatever, through Coralville, there's a walkway across the street road there. He built it and whatever and put it up. But he was an old, more or less train yourself.
Yeah. I remember Jeff Kaczynski was in town a few years ago, and John was not well in the hospital, so Jeff and I went over to see him and visited with him. And I forget who told me the story, but when John came to the company, he was a really skilled, I think, operator already and had a lot of experience. But when he came here, he wanted to start right at the labor level and sort of walk his way up through and not come in at maybe doing some of the things that he had been doing. Mm-hmm. It's just his nature. Howard Williams, you stay in touch with Howard?
I see him Wednesday night at an auction sale.
Okay.
Yeah. He's my ex-brother-in-law.
Okay. I did not know that.
Yeah, he just turned 83.
How is he doing?
Doing pretty good health-wise. He's just getting slower like everybody else. And
think he'd come in and do one of these?
Yeah, I think he would.
Would you ask him for me?
I'll mention it to him, yeah.
Yeah. Just mention it.
Yeah.
So another thing I recall, when I started with the company, we were doing the McFarland Clinic edition, And I think you were superintendent on that, weren't you?
Yep.
And you had a young cub foreman working for you by the name of Rob Greenwood.
Yep.
So how long had you and Rob worked together at that time?
See, I don't remember a lot of these back through and whatever, but
Sure.
long time.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember when we first getting started, we had to put up a temporary power pole out in the parking lot. So we had a meeting going on. So I sent him and Rob to the river lot to get a old telephone pole we could stick up to get power there. So him and Rob took the old dump truck down and they loaded it up, come up and backed in the parking lot, tipped up, and let the telephone pole roll over and it hit 2 cars. Yeah. Imagine them two when I come out of the meeting. Went in, told them what happened and whatever, and they found the 2 people the 2 cars owned to, and it was employees. So, yep.
McFarland Clinic
That
employees.
McFarland Clinic, yeah, that new addition.
Yep. Any other kind of story people that you worked a lot with or had some unique experiences with that come to mind?
My Travis Schwartz, remember Travis?
Yep.
I'm sure you do.
I do.
We did the Sunstrand in Lawrence, Kansas.
Yep.
He was a good kid, good young man. Yep. Oh, I don't know. There were so many of them, but
There are.
yeah.
How about architects that you worked with a lot, or that you really thought you really enjoyed working with when you did?
My favorite is Bill Bossenberger.
Why's that?
He's a structural. He's common sense. Him and Bill Lee, they had that common sense since architects. I mean, you go up, you talk to them, they'll come up, they'll help you. We got a problem, or this isn't, this isn't. You don't have enough room to work. They put a pipe chase in between bathrooms, whatever. You don't have enough room. Well, we'll just, whatever. Really good. In fact,
Sure.
I'm still good friends and see Bill about once a month or so.
Oh, be darn.
Yeah.
And Bill Lee is Rudy Lee Dryer, so
Right.
the Lee
Yeah.
in there. Okay. How about subcontractors? So I know you had, you maybe had some favorites, or you had some that you just had really good relationships with. Who were they?
Nickel was one. Real good. I work with on Schlutter Village. That's where I run across Carol Nickel and whatever, and his crew. And his crew, they're all retiring now.
Yep.
Dennis, Randy, Burkhart, another one's there. The Nelsons, I have worked a little bit with them, but not too much with whatever. But Allied for
Yeah.
drywall. That's about the ones. Manats, concrete, and I didn't have any trouble down there with Ames Ready Mix when they were there.
Sure.
Yeah.
How about owners? Did you develop? I mean, I know you developed good relationships with owners. Any stick out, or
Mm-hmm.
people that you've stayed in touch with?
Well, Dean McCormick, he was out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked Dean. Dean was honest and fair. And
So you're married for a long time and you had kids. So tell me about your family.
I was married to my wife, passed away. She had breathing problems, and then I got one daughter, a granddaughter, and a son-in-law. They just got back last night about 7 o'clock from South Padre Island. They went down there for spring break. My granddaughter's be 11 in May.
And do they live around
They
here?
live in Ankeny.
Okay.
She's a placement person for some big outfit out of Vegas. She got on there, and she's got about 130 people working for her all over the United States. She's got to get 40 down in Florida or somewhere, whatever, but she's busier than the devil.
So she has worked remote even before coronavirus and all
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah, because when coronavirus hit, and she was there, and it was, but she works from her. She was there took spare bedroom, set up a little desk, and got her phone back there. And she gets calls all the time, and I need 12 people. So she goes out, starts scouting. However, I don't know how she does it, but she may find 8. But when Farm Progress comes to town over between Boone and Ames,
Yep.
they'll need help, just temp help. And whatever she can find, she furnishes to them and whatever.
So I bet you've probably built a few things for your granddaughter.
Oh, yeah, I did her little playhouse out back and went down and she got a above-ground pool. But their yard goes like this, so I went down last year and built a platform and built it up so she could put the swimming pool on it. And
Yeah. I'm going to have some grandkids moving back into the area. So
yeah.
I'll keep your number.
And then, the day I went down last Friday and took them to the airport. She says, well, bring us some tools down, which is, she says, the bookshelf on each side of the fireplace. One of them was falling over. She didn't look and see it coming out, so they stopped and unloaded it and sat down, fastened it back up for her before we took them to the airport.
Yep. Yeah, you're a great guy to know.
Oh, they think I am. I'm just me.
I associate you with sayings. You're a man of few words, but they're powerful words. Do you remember some of your hallmark sayings? Like, what are some of the pearls of wisdom you'd pass along to people? So one, I remember, man's only as good as his word.
And that's forever.
Yep. Yeah, it is what it is. I've heard you say that a lot. That's a little bit of a saying. I remember you saying, you would never back away from anything. You would just, the facts are the facts. What are we gonna do?
If you say you're gonna do it.
Yeah. You've been retired a while. Is retirement what you thought it would be?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with what I did, but I had to retire because of my wife.
Right.
I took care of her for 4 years, but I'm not regretting it. I'm not regretting it a bit.
Sure. And you have been, certainly you cared for her, but you've remained active. So what are you active doing?
Oh, I do a little bit of home inspections, which they're far and few between. Sometimes you'll get 2 weeks, sometimes you'll get none for a month or two. It just depends on the economy goes and whatever.
Yep.
And I work at the hardware store now, and I just keep busy around home and whatever, and help my sisters and brothers and whatever.
You worked at a laundromat for a while too, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm back there now. I shouldn't have done that. But that's why my hands are all scratched up and bruised and whatever, working on them stupid machines. And there's an old laundromat in town. They got about 30 wash machines, and 15 of them don't work. And I left there for about 1.5 years, 2 years. And you come back and they still got those 15 washers that ain't running.
Yeah. I have a lot of memories of working with you. One of them was up at Roth Hall. I was up for a project meeting, I think, and it was in the morning, and maybe Sperlich sent you an ironworker foreman. And I don't even recall his name.
Dale Holford.
No, it wasn't Dale. It was somebody else. And the guy came in and introduced himself, and you said, "Hey, plant tables over there. Why don't you get familiar with the drawings, and we'll circle up a little bit later." Guy pulled out his thermos, put coffee in his cup on his thermos, set it up on the plan table. You went over and you said, "Hey, we don't put coffee on the plan table." He's like, "Well, I guess I'll be going then." You're like, "Yep, see you later." Guy didn't even start. Do you remember that?
Yep. I learned that from Don Schoaf. Don Schoaf was at Iowa State, and guys would come in the plan room tables, and they'd jump their butt up on the plans and sit down the plan table. You don't do that here. Same way with your coffee. Yep.
Yeah. And so, yeah, the help you desperately needed showed up and didn't, wasn't willing to play ball. He decided to leave, and you helped him pack his stuff. That was pretty eye-opening for me. So for young people today that are considering a career in the trade, a career in the industry, any suggestions you have for them? Your long career, you saw a lot, you did a lot. Any words to live by? Any advice you'd give young people or encouragement?
Right now, from what I know of people just listening and whatever, they have trouble getting people to show up on time, young kids and whatever. And then, go in there, true, some stuff, but yet listen, because if you don't know exactly, everything's different anymore. Everything's different. And, you guys here, you don't have very many drawings and plans. It's all on the damn computer, and you would just pull it up and whatever. You can pull it up on your phone and whatever. Yep. See, I'm not there, and I don't want to be. I'm past that. So give me a piece of paper with a drawing, but
changed a lot. That's for sure.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna land the plane. Anything else you want to say? You want to offer? You want to throw out there?
Nope.
All right, get out of here. Thanks for coming in, man.
Okay, sir.
There you have it, right from Donny Paris, as I expected. A man of few words, but really good ones. Man, he looks great. Sounds like he's doing great. I have just a lot of memories when you are early in your career. The people that you work with initially are particularly formative in how you think and what you value. And so Donny's been a really important part of that for me and for many in the industry. Appreciate you, Donny. Catch you next time.